The lights are flashing because the police have been called. Seven Sisters Road is a dangerous place at night. Mohammed Salah said it's not Christmas no more gifts. Ay, buenos dias. He took those noodles, slander names. He took them to heart. Gakpo took a shit on your defense. I mean, it's just insane. Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your weekly roundup of all the sporting events of the week. And you must be thinking, there's no way this guy did not bring a roundabout episode to us for 2 weeks and then come and do the roundabout inside his house. Well, I have an explanation. A piece of equipment that I used to film the roundabout has broken. I still need to replace it, but it will be here no matter what for next week. So this week we stay inside in the warmth because it's cold. It's cold outside, and it's cold outside for Manchester United. These guys held 7 goals against them at Anfield. It was meant to be the time where they go against the grain, the time where they approach Anfield with that hustle and desire, that time where they rewrite their wrongs of last season. They show up with Casemiro. They show up with Ten Hag, who almost got taken for 10. 7-0. Are you taking the piss? I mean, honestly, I was flabbergasted, absolutely perplexed, absolutely delirious with excitement when I saw that scoreline. I missed the game. I had to go back and watch it, analyze it, tweak, tinker. And that's exactly what Ten Hag should have done, because playing Bruno Fernandes on the left side with Anthony, by the way, Bruno, a disgrace of a captain that day. Did not lead by example, did not even lead, period. And then we had Anthony giving the freedom of the park for Robertson to have the outball. This guy was lazy. This guy was confused, discombobulated. This guy did not pay attention in class. He was clearly not alert, clearly not awake. This guy was just allowing the freedom of the pitch. He did not press. He did not track back any runners. He didn't position himself correctly off the ball. It was insane, the amount of space Liverpool had on the switch of play. And obviously Dalot for the first goal, just not staying awake, not staying alert as well, allowing that inside run from Gakpo, not tucking inside. But it was just an absolute catastrophic capitulation, annihilation from Liverpool on Manchester United. I mean, listen, 7-0. There's a point where you have to say enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. And I'm not talking about glazers out. I'm talking about stop conceding goals. I'm talking about actually hold some sort of, some sort of pride, some sort of order has to be put intact here. 7 goals, you could have stopped that at 4. You could have said, you know what, no. But every single goal that Manchester United conceded thereafter was just a catalogue of errors, deflections, people, deciding to turn their back on play and run away. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Manchester United.
And listen, what skullduggery is going to do with Saeed, I have no clue. I mean, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a thriller, a drama. It's going to be a Netflix series. I do pray for my brother in times like this. Later on the Big Six. This guy, he needs all the prayers he can get. Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a madness. It's going to be an absolute madness. I don't even know how you even take yourself out your house after a 7-0 defeat. I know that we've been through worse as Chelsea fans, maybe over a longer period of time this season, but 7-0 stings. That is a result that stays.
Wow, what a number. Now I can say,
it sticks. It doesn't go anywhere. People will be talking about that for years to come. 7-0 against probably the worst Liverpool team we've seen in so long. Unbelievable. But Gakpo, Nunes, Salah. Fair play to you guys. You put the ball in the back of the net. You put the ball in the back of the net when the opportunities came to you. You dealt with it. You handled business. Fabinho, him versus Casemiro was not meant to go that way. And by the way, Martinez, this guy got butchered. He got sliced, diced, flipped, fried, put in a pan, put in a spliff, as expressions would say. It's not been a great week for the oozing sauce. Oh, God. Oh, that podcast is going to be crazy. I mean, listen, I'm still in shock that Manchester United got swept like that off their feet. And it wasn't romance. It was some hell of a... It was dance. They were dancing, Liverpool. It was just incredible. I don't even know what to take from this game. I still believe that Manchester United are going to get top four. That you dare wouldn't say they're in a title race anymore. If you've been flirting with it, if you've been testing the waters, testing the chemicals, been in the lab cooking up something, stop cooking. Because they're not winning no league, and it's about time that that conversation died and evaporated, disintegrated into the atmosphere. And that's exactly what it has now happened. It's over. Case closed. You're guilty. Guilty of not challenging, okay? And that's fine. It's overachieving if you did anyway. So that's done. Unbelievable scoreline. Insanity out there at Anfield. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the season for both of you, man. Because I don't even know how to continue. I still feel Liverpool will be at times a mess and drop points. And I still feel like Man United will win some games. It's such a weird game. Maybe it's a one-off. You'd think so, but still crazy. Circling back to Friday, Dortmund versus Leipzig. I did watch that game. Obviously, we have Dortmund coming up, a 2-1 win in Germany for them. Log ahead on the top of the table with Bayern Munich locked on it on points. And then, of course, we go to Arsenal and we go to Tottenham losing. Of course, Adama Traore absolutely thumping it in as he likes to sometimes turn up against big six teams. I don't understand tactically what Tottenham are trying to do, bringing on Lucas Moura. Again, Danjuma seems to be almost like he's offended somebody's family member. He will not be played. He will not be used. He will not be rinsed like a sponge. He will not be squeezed. This guy will just be left to die dry on the bench and just... I don't even know why they brought him in the first place at this point. Everton could have done with some magic on the flanks. And yeah, you take off Pedro Porro, a guy that hit the crossbar, a guy that had a couple of shots that looked like he was a threat. Tactically, I just don't understand what's going on at Tottenham anymore. And tap in Thabz. You must explain this again later on today. I mean, I saw your review, my brother. You were fuming. So angry. And then, of course, we move to Arsenal. And I'm sick and tired of this team. Every single week with this nonsense. I mean, honestly, you're 2-2 at Bournemouth. You concede the second fastest goal in Premier League history. You then concede off a set piece and we're thinking, looks like Bournemouth have got something for us. Looks like we're leaving here with something. But no, Arsenal decide they're just playing around. They just want to, make things interesting. They come back, they recover, they revive, they respawn. And then in the last minute, in the 7th or 8th minute of added on time, of course, Reece Nelson of all people, yeah? The only Nelson I know is Wes. This brother smacks it into the top corner for no reason, by the way, with his weaker foot, unprovoked, unasked, unchallenged, I can't think no more. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. This guy is so random for you to do that because we saw one little response from you against Liverpool, of course, really good cameo, and then bang. Don't ever do that again. This light turned red when I was talking. Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Are you trying to make me angry? Don't do that. Bruv. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They think not only can they win games in this manner and have my heart breaking in final moments of matches, then they decide to time up the light and get involved in the video. Don't do that. Don't do that again in your life. Don't ever think you can do that again in your life. Yeah? Dickheads. So they've won. And it continues. It continues and continues and continues and continues. So Manchester City won as well. Foden is involved again, is back again. Of course, the conversations will start again. The Sakas, the Rashfords, I'm not involved, but the job done. They continue to move. Newcastle starting to dwindle, starting to drop, but nobody wants top four. Give it to charity. I keep saying, get top four and sponsor it by a charity of your choosing, because nobody wants it. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants it. It's always available, always free. Every single top 4 race is handed on a platter to everybody to get involved. And it's never a team that's in form. It's just whoever ends up in that position by accident, by default, they take that position, and it's not even anything to be proud of most of the time. It's just you were the best of the rest, and the rest were crap or underperformed. So crazy. And then obviously Roma, Jose Mourinho, his record right now in Italy against the top teams is ridiculously good. We just saw Sarri as well go and beat Napoli as well. Crazy, a 1-0 win. And then, like I said, with Jose Mourinho winning 1-0 for Roma, shithousery, you know, smash and grab these games, proper flip, topsy-turvy stuff going on over there in Serie A. You can never predict it. Unbelievable winning run over for Napoli. It continues for Dortmund. They've won every game this year, like I said, beating Leipzig, and luckily, we played them in the Champions League next. And obviously, my team won as well. I watched the game back. I reflected. You know, I went to therapy, as I always do. I've got a weekly slot. But this session was a lot easier for me. Something I could really get off my chest. I felt like Sterling and Felix's combinations and connections were a lot stronger. Obviously, them two playing in behind those, in between those lines, in that narrow, you know, attack of a 3-4-3, Chilwell bombing forward. Enzo Fernandez is passing again. People have been sleeping on Enzo. I feel like he's just almost, you know, it's easy for rival fans to say, oh, you spent a lot of money, you're not winning games, it must be his fault. If you're actually watching the games, defensively, yes, of course, he'll get skipped past a couple times literally by an Oliver Skip. But listen, that's not his job. He needs that holder, that sitter next to him. Kovar actually won more tackles than anybody else in that game on the pitch for Chelsea. And of course, Enzo, with his passing as well, was brilliant. Spraying the passes, you know, vertically, switches of play, wonderful. And all of his passing stats were fantastic. So again, I'm just highlighting individuals that I was impressed with. Fofana, you know, Badiashile as well, doing very well. I'm not going to overanalyze that game because, as I said already, it's just one match against Leeds. Let's see what happens on Tuesday, tomorrow, against Dortmund. So yeah, crazy stuff in the Premier League, man. Brighton obviously battering West Ham. I can't wait to chat to Lawless. It's going to be the creme de la creme to see what he has to say. And yeah, just a mad weekend in general. And I can't wait to go back outside into the freezing cold. Hopefully it gets warmer, but we will be rounding up all of the sporting events of the week outside as usual next week. And let me not forget, finally, the Formula One. Yes, Bahrain Grand Prix. That's where I was on Sunday. That's why I didn't cover the Manchester United versus Liverpool match. And I have to speak on this because it was a crazy race. There was no crashes. There was 3 DNFs. But Verstappen and Perez obviously, you know, took it comfortably in P1 and 2. But Alonso on the podium after getting tagged by his teammate Stroll. It's a very oppressive start for Aston Martin. A quick car. We saw that speed when they come up against Sainz, and Alonso just absolutely blitzed him. Hamilton could not blitz him and stayed in 5th, which was very disappointing as a Merck and Hamilton fan. And we saw that pace for Stroll up against George as well. So it's clear that the Aston Martin is actually faster at the moment, if you're taking that race into account, than the Mercedes. So that makes Mercedes 4th in this grid in terms of the speed. But hopefully those upgrades come in race 4, 5, 6. Bruv, whatever you got to do with them side pods to make it how it should be, then go for it, Toto. Don't hold no grudges. Don't hold no, don't hold any egos now. It's time to play ball, and it's time to get Hamilton his 8th in the coming years, or he's gonna fuck off. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll take that. Take your shit and pack your bags and get out. Go to Ferrari if Sainz is not performing. This guy was way off the pace of Leclerc as well, before he obviously had to DNF with an engine failure. If Sainz doesn't step up to the plate, Carlos, we are watching you. If you don't step up, Lewis, I want you in that Ferrari for the 8th. I'm telling you, in that red, it will look crazy. It will look incredible. I will be there no matter what. And like I said, Stroll with a wrist injury as well. Really good performance from him. And then we moved to Gasly. And we moved to, unfortunately, not him overtaking Bottas back. Very good performance from him. I mean, he overtook more times than anybody else. Started at the back of the grid. Really strong performance. Albon in the Williams, for the historic Williams, getting themselves on the top 10 as well. But let's get to the juicy stuff. Because today, I must say, I've never seen anybody penalised and took more penalties than Bruno Fernandes in his first season for Manchester United under Oli. The amount of penalties that Ocon took, his penalties led to penalties which weren't converted, which got more penalties. I mean, this guy got a penalty for not doing the penalty correctly, and then as he was approaching to do the penalty, he got a penalty for that because he was too fast. And funnily enough, he wasn't fast enough, and that's why he may have got the first, I don't know. He started on the grid in the wrong spot. They're penalising that now. They're harsh. You got to make sure that your wheels are on the right part of the track from the start. But this guy was taking all the penalties for everyone. You know what I'm saying? He was, as they say, pock on. And how can I forget the McLarens? I mean, Norris. That guy was just out there doing data. It was data day for Norris. Lando data Norris. That guy was just out here collecting. He weren't collecting any points, I'll tell you that for free. He was way behind the back of the grid. He had pit about 4 or 5 times. This guy was almost testing his pit crew. They were running drills. You know, it's like fire drills at work. They don't really mean anything unless it's real. 3 o'clock. Boop, 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 boop. Don't worry, stay in your seats. We ain't doing anything real here. This is what he was on. He was just pitting. Filling up. I don't know what was going on. This guy needed petrol or something. I don't know. Maybe the car was so light. It didn't show in the speed of it, man. That McLaren is looking real finished for the season. And I'm making that judgment and call very early. And obviously, Palestri, obviously, first day, rookie, tough day. DNF for him as well. Not what you love to see. But unfortunately, this is what can take place. Bad day for the Hasses as well. It is what it is. AlphaTauri's unlucky, maybe. Sonoda, could've, should've. Maybe next time, who knows? He did well in Q1, but finished 8th. But we never saw that in the end on track. He couldn't quite get into that top 10 behind Albon. He'll be disappointed. And like I said, yeah, it's not easy, man. It's not easy for them DNFs. And listen, we do miss you, Latifi, man. We needed a red flag. We definitely needed a red flag. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Love and guidance to you. We miss you smashing up the walls and bringing the pack back together. Big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the likes button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you for Battle of the North live at 6 p.m. because that is going to be one hell of a cook. One hell of a cooking sesh. Not 10 un, not 10 do, not 10 tue, not 10 quattro, not 10 sicra, not 10 six, 10... I don't even know what 7 is in French. He ain't even French, he's Dutch. 7 hog. English. In a bit, people. Peace.